Hello, 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 Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you from the LDS hospital in Salt Lake City. I told them I needed a heat pad on the lake, and he said, "Fine. Do you want us to raise it?" I said, "Yeah, that'd be a good idea." They said, "How about this?" I said, "God damn, that's the best idea I've seen since I've been sick. Lay her out." So anyway, she just sits like this. I don't know why. She's not a very modest girl, but anyway, we put her down there. Something to look at anyway, or imagine. And then we take the old heat pad. I haven't had one of these since I was a child. Boy, I'll tell you what, that eats her up. Woo! Anyway, she just moans under them. Take it, use it. The Bard is helpful. Anyway, I wanted to tell you something that is going on with the Mormon people in Utah right now. They are planning the end of the world. Let me tell you, the Utah people say that the world is going to end on September, I think it's 29th. So they're going to the store and they're buying food. Now let me tell you something. This is just common sense. If you buy a can of pork and beans and a nuclear bomb lands next to you, you're not going to need the beans, the flour, the pepper, the salt, the meat. You're going to look like the meat out of the freezer. Now let's say it is the end of the world, okay? First of all, my credit cards I'm not going to pay, not one. If it's the end of the world, I'd become a millionaire. Now, the other thing is, who the hell's going to work? No one. They go, cars on fire, houses on fire, roads are burned up. I ain't going to work today. Calling the boss. Things are a little rough in our neighborhood. I'm not coming in. 10,000 people have died. All right, well now, I don't watch, but I've seen these movies of the zombies. I really liked Frankenstein. I thought he was cool with the wire in his head and everything. I thought Frankenstein was a possibility. But with The Walking Dead, it was too much for me. It reminds me of the students I had at BYU when I was teaching dance. Anyway, you're going to have a lot of Walking Dead. Now, I don't know if Walking Dead eat what they eat. I think they eat people. I don't know what they eat. But if the Walking Dead come to your house, you go, here's a can of beans. Okay. So maybe they eat the beans and they leave you and your kids alone. Now, the end of the world means no electricity. Now, let me tell you what life in the United States is going to be like with no electricity. First of all of the pumps that pump gas up out of the ground won't pump one drop. So your car is going nowhere. The water that comes into your house, it may be gravity fed, but it generally is cleaned with a water filter. It ain't going to do shit. No water. Now, let me tell you, water ain't an important thing unless you're going poo-poo. Now, if you have a house of poo-poo and you can't flush the toilet, you're going to hope it's the end of the world. You're going to run out of the house going, we've been pooed out of our house. We don't care about the nuclear blast. We've been pooed to death. So what do the doctors write down on the death certificates? Fried by atomic bomb or pooed to death in their home? I don't know. Now here's the other thing. I've stored a little food, not because of a catastrophe, but because of wisdom. Sometimes we're unemployed, sometimes we're sick, disabled, and sometimes a little extra food here and there in the house is a safety measure. Now, there's just so much food you can store. Under the beds, in the cabinets, in the closets, and under the bathtub, on the patio, and you disguise the food cans that look like lawn chairs on the patio. Now, I've stored every bit of, and I bought a little freezer, and I fill it with bread and more bread. I can't afford to put anything else. So if it's the end of the world, it's going to be toast time for the Bard family. So anyway, I laugh my ass off at these people. I've lived too long. I've lived way too long. I probably have seen at least 7 or 8 end of the worlds. Now, I remember the people who were in California, and they all got in their pajamas and laid on bunk beds. And they thought the spacecraft was going to come and pick them up and take them into Kolob or I don't know where. Well, the medication they took killed them. They didn't go anywhere. When the police came in, they were just laying in bed, dead as a doornail. Jim Jones, 930 or whatever, he wanted to make Kool-Aid, and he did, with cyanide. Now, we've had a couple of Oregon people up in the mountains of Oregon talk to the bears, and the bears said, it's coming. It's coming. And so those ruffians and the Wild West guys up there, they know that my leg's too hot. So anyway, I've seen those. I've seen the Moonies. I've seen Hare Krishna. I've seen a lot of dead world groups. And it's always a cult because they want you to pay more money. If the world is going to die tomorrow, you pay them more money because you'll get a better spot on the bench in heaven. So it's all a scam. It's all a scam. You steal your Social Security. You steal your retirement, your kids' inheritances. The Mormons will scam you until there's no money or assets left. Now, what group of people, in their right mind, think the end of the world is coming? First of all, let's say that you buy one of those. In Utah, they have these great big orange bomb shelters. Okay, now bomb shelter is kind of a cool place, unless you have to go into it. Now, let me tell you, the Bard is an expert on bomb shelters. First of all, when you knock on the door, no one's going to let you in because the radiation is right there by the door, so you're hanging on the outside. Let me in. No, we're all safe in here. Just fry outside. So the front door, you got to have a key to. You don't want your friends inside or your family having the only key. Now, the other thing is when the bomb hits, there's no water, there's no electricity, there's no cars, and probably there's no house. So you might not be able to find your bomb shelter. You have to put like an American flag at bomb shelter so your family can run over there. Now let me tell you something about a bomb shelter. If you pump in, some of them have pumps, but most of them have a crank. You say, Billy, go over and crank some air in. We're all feeling a little lightheaded. So Billy goes over, and he has to crank the pump for a half an hour. Well, Billy hates the end of the world. It's the end of his world. No TV, no games, no nothing. And so your daughter comes in and she says, Dad, I need to do my hair and take a shower. He hands her a cup of water and says, do the best you can. We have to preserve water. Now that's the end of her world. She goes, you know what? Send me out. Let me radiate. And then Mom comes in and Frank says, honey, could you get us something to eat? She says, well, we have no water. We have no gas. We have no electricity. What would you like? And he says, the usual. She isn't a good mom at all. She just is not a good mom. So you have this family down there, and they get along pretty good for a day. Now let me tell you what happens to a family that is trapped in a in a bomb shelter. First of all, they don't know how deep they are underneath. The dirt could have put them, a mile and a half underneath the ground, and they think their pipe is right here on the surface and they can climb out. Well, here's one of the problems. When the hell do you climb out? You have little peepholes and you see your neighbors all fried. Hey, honey, come over here. Here's Bethy. She's really fried. And look, she has no dress on. Her dress burned right off. Good Lord. Come here. And the son, hey, Dad, let me see Bessie. Okay, come over here. Everyone look at Bessie. She's burned like a piece of bacon. And she has no clothes on. So then people start discussing, what are we going to do? And the dad says, we're going to live. And the kids and the wife say, like this? Better than frying? We're not sure it is. Frying might be better than living like this. There's no plants out there. There's no trees. There's not even a snake. And if we go out, we might be sick, radiation, or we might fry. But even if we don't, there's no jobs, Dad. I can't work at McDonald's. It ain't there anymore. And the girls say, I can't date anymore here in 9th grade because 9th grade doesn't exist. There is no school. There's no church. There's nothing. Why would you want to live in that? Well, the Mormon men want to live in it because they still believe in polygamy. Honey, open up there. I can't get in. It's too tight. There you go. I don't like being tied up. She likes that shit. I don't got it. Let go. S&M little bitch. Anyway, there's no Boy Scouts. There's no school. Now you can drive any car you want. They're all, the paint jobs are pretty bad on them, but you can drive them for how much gas is in the car. But after that, you're walking. Where are you going to walk to? The National Forest, which burned down. The park, which blew up. Mormons are crazy, crazy people. They would rather believe in this shit than just get the hell out of bed and go to work. Be a good person. Do your taxes honestly. Help your neighbor if they have a broken leg. The old people. Try to do something good. And don't try to get Jesus points. Jesus points stop when the bomb goes pop. Remember that on your gravestone. The Jesus points stop when the nuclear bomb pops. No more Jesus points. So who you are and what you've done, there it is. Okay, is that enough to get into heaven? Probably not. You lay funny. There, now just... I like it when she smiles. Anyway, my leg is feeling much better. In fact, my whole body is feeling much better. Don't wish for the end of the world. You're in a group, a small group, of psychotic, paranoid, low-intelligent people. The earthquake that is coming, according to the Mormons, I guess is going to swallow all the Catholics and all the Baptists. Not one Mormon's going to go in the hole. I don't know if they have a Mormon net. I don't know how these things work. What if you're a Mormon driving to the temple and you look up and the temple falls in the hole? Do you still try to get in and do an endowment, or you go, fuck it, I'm out of here? These people just keep me laughing and laughing. They have no common sense, and who the hell wants to live in a world where everything is incinerated? There is no government, and you don't have enough food to go a year. And after the year's food is gone, even if you have that much, what are you going to eat? The Donner Party? Is it Becky and Jim? Come on in. We're going to have a Donner Party family home evening. Dad's sitting there with knives and forks, and Mom is going, The kids come into family home, holy shit, it's worse than it usually is. We're out of here. We're out of here. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that the Mormons are ready. The 29th, they say the blood moon is going to appear, and there'll be a huge earthquake somewhere along Utah. I hope it's away from the houses I have in Utah and the property. I hope the Salt Lake Temple falls in one of the holes. And we should say a lot about the Mormon Church. But anyway, before that happens, I want you to all go Paleo, Paleo, oh God, hear the words of my mouth 3 times, and save yourself. Oh God, don't cut my throat. Oh God, don't rip my heart out. And oh God, don't cut my body open. Hey, I've lost a few pounds, not a lot. Hey, when you're 300 pounds and you lose a few pounds, earthquake or tsunami is not going to make you lighter. No one's going to see it. You got to lose 25 or 30 pounds, and then somebody goes, are you losing a little weight? Yeah, my left arm fell off. So anyway, make sure that you memorize health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinews, power in the priesthood be upon me and upon my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. I want you to know my leg is getting better, and I didn't pray to Jesus. You know, you friends, and I call you that deeply, I mean it, that have sincere concern about my health and about my existence, and you say that you pray for my leg. Maybe it worked. I can't tell. I can't tell. Put ice on it. Doctor told me not to walk on it. That's number 1. Number 2, put the old heat pad between her legs. That's done a lot for me. It's brought my spirit up, and my depression has gone down. And it makes me feel like I want to share with you and appreciate you. You know, my mom never gave a shit whether I lived or died. My father never knew I existed, and they never paid for any BYU. They never paid any tuition. They never encouraged me. They never came to a class. Never, never, never. They did come to my graduation at BYU. That was one thing that they did. But they were, you know, my father's a child molester, and my mother's, you know, about as nurturing as Joseph Smith's rock. I'm going to do a video, because I've been talking to rocks. Now, this is a serious subject, okay? I've been outside, moving around, and finding in the forest rocks that will talk to me about the Joseph Smith rock. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you a little bit of a show on the Joseph Smith rock and some of the things the rocks have told me. So this part is now gone.